Michael, put your toys away, we're live.
First of all, Legos are not toys. People actually use these to compete. It's craft and art.
You really want to do this right now? The camera is rolling.
Good day to you all, and welcome to another broadcast with American Financial Network Inc.'s Social News Network. I'm your cantankerous host, Michael Fleming, and I'd like to apologize for that embarrassing display of classlessness you just witnessed. Moving on, we've got quite the newscast prepared for you today as we explore different ways you can build your brand on social media. We're also following the reemergence of a disturbing trend, so-called zombie pranks. Apparently, a group of people who have taken donning grotesque makeup en masse to terrify hapless civilians across major cities nationwide. But for now, we turn to Kylie Kyle, a renowned social media influencer who's joined us in our studio to give us a few tips on how loan officers can build their social media brands. So Kylie, thanks again for joining us today and sharing tips on how loan officers can build their brand on social media.
Oh, yes. Well, Kylie has shown you one way already. You need personality. No one likes boredom. You have to find a way to stand out in a very crowded marketplace. Hopefully you have some kind of logo or color palette you can use that makes your social presence recognizable, no matter what platform you're using.
Oh, that's a good tip.
But that's basic. None of that matters if you don't actually post frequently or on a schedule. Upload photos and videos, respond to comments so you're engaging with your audience. Speaking of audience, you should probably figure out who that is. I suppose for loan officers, that would be
people buying homes.
People buying houses. You're slowly catching on. If you don't know what kind of content your followers want, you'll essentially be shooting blanks.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
I wouldn't know. #expert. Now, for the second tip, I've got a demonstration.
You're gonna make tea?
Ugh, you rube. I'm gonna create an experience, which brings me to my second point. Give your followers an experience they won't get anywhere else. Prove to them why engaging with you is worth your time and energy. Make them feel like they're getting an exclusive, one-of-a-kind experience. That means you need to talk to people like people, treat them with respect, inform them and educate them with content they're unlikely to find with any other mortgage professionals. What kind of taste do you want to leave them with? You need to decide what kind of experience you're creating for your audience and share content accordingly. You can do that with posts, graphics, videos, and third-party content you share from other sources. Just make sure it always fits the theme you're trying to establish with your brand.
But what was the point of the tea?
I use this as a metaphor for creating an experience. Tea is a high-class drink, and I'm drinking it because I'm high class.
I'm not really sure that landed the way you intended.
I never. You rank amateurs are beneath me. I cannot believe.
Well, that mostly went well. We'll definitely offer a few more tips for you before the end of the newscast. Until then, though, we're going to go check in on a story we've been following about the reemergence of zombie pranks. I'm sitting here with the recent victim of a zombie prank attack. He's agreed to come here and tell us his harrowing story under the condition we don't use his name. Sir, how are you doing? How am I doing? How am I doing? I had to climb a chain link fence to get away from those monsters. Oh my, what exactly happened? I was on my way to Bath & Body Works to re-up on my cactus blossom candles. As I'm turning the corner about to walk into the shopping center, there they are, a legion of demonic-looking zombie things. We'll have more for you on this story as it unfolds, but I've just learned that we've secured an interview with Harold Blue, the Chief Marketing Officer at Loans for People, an up-and-coming mortgage startup that's absolutely not made up. Hi there, Harold. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Michael, thanks for having me. So, tell us a little bit about how Loans for People helps its loan officers build their brands. Well, as you know, we're a startup that empowers loan officers with our 3 key principles to branding: tone, humanity, and commitment. Tell us more. Well, as you know, this is a startup, but tone is how you talk to your audience in a certain context. For instance, if you receive a complaint or criticism from a follower about a piece of content you've shared, but your brand voice is upbeat, cheerful, and inspiring, you may want to respond with an empathetic message that acknowledges the harm and commits to your solution. Even if your brand, which ours is a startup, has a witty, almost sarcastic voice, you don't want to respond to a complaining customer that way because it can make matters worse. You need to adapt your voice to the situation without sacrificing the core tenets of your brand. It's not easy. Much like running a startup, a lot of people don't think about their tone on social media, which honestly leaves a lot of room for interpretation. That's why we encourage our LOs at our startup to read their posts, captions, comments, responses, etc. out loud to hear how it sounds instead of just writing it and letting it fly. What about humanity? Social media gets a bad rap for being divisive, but it has profound power to connect people from all walks of life. Loan officers have the opportunity to converse with these customers they may never meet in person. So it's important they're human and approachable. To avoid excluding or repulsing potential customers, you need to be empathetic, compassionate, and open. As a loan officer, your brand isn't your company or your startup. You're not just a mouthpiece, you are yourself. So be that on social. If you give your audience anything else, they'll see right through it and look elsewhere for content. Also, just stay away from politics. Just don't even bother. Good point. Tell us about commitment. This goes farther than just posting on regular cadence. Building a brand takes time, energy, and effort. Much like our startup, you've got to manage it and keep working. Don't expect your first post to go viral, and don't expect to become an overnight success. Build your audience, talk to your followers, answer direct messages, respond to comments, post engaging content, diversify the kind of content you're posting, shoot live videos, play the long game, and you'll reap the benefits. Great stuff, Harold. Thank you so much. Thank you. As a reminder, we're a startup, so we need funding to keep. Okay, we now turn to the weather. Bob, how are things looking out there?
Hey, Michael, it's a beautiful day out here, but it looks like there's a group of maybe teenagers dressed as zombies chasing me. I'm pretty near the station. You might want to call.
Ooh, so sorry, Bob, but we've got a breaking story coming in. It seems that authorities have determined that the so-called zombie pranksters aren't really pranksters at all. Officials are encouraging civilians to take shelter because the zombies are reportedly real and have overrun the city. Well, although we survived 2020, it seems if the zombie apocalypse decided to happen after all. We're also receiving reports that the zombies are all converging on the station. Well, I've been preparing for this day for a long time. Until next time, stay safe and hashtag stay social.